Hello, my name is Dawn from Infinite You Life Coaching, and welcome to today's restorative yoga practice for the hip flexors. We'll be running through a few poses, and we'll be holding those poses for 10 minutes each. Now, remember, this is restorative. That means that when I get into a pose, I don't want to feel the stretch. So, if you're feeling sensation from the stretch, then you need to grab some props and prop yourself up so that you don't feel it. The whole point of restorative is it's not the stretch. It's to open, to feel safe, to let go. These are more of the reasons we do it. Of course, it has that myofascial benefit of softening that fascia because we're holding the pose for so long, but it's also because you are relaxed in that time. So we really want to get into that parasympathetic nervous system, having nice, soft, easy breathing in these poses is going to help with that. Before we get started, things you want to do, have props ready, right? So I have a yoga bolster here. If you don't have a yoga bolster, you could use a firm pillow, or maybe two, maybe from a couch or something like that. I do have 2 blocks handy, as well as a folded blanket, and then I have 2 rolled up towels. You'll see I'm not even using a mat today. It's pretty low key and relaxed. So if you want to use your mat, great. If not, no worries. Do want to be on a soft surface. So I am on my carpet. And like I was saying, these poses get held for 10 minutes. So in that time, this is very meditative. So just really coming into your body, coming into your breath. So as we get into the pose, we'll use the first minute or less to get into that comfortable position. From there, just come to your breath and start noticing what you feel in your body. We'll be working with the hips today, so it's really common to have emotions bubble up while we're in a pose, and that's okay. And if tears come, let them. So a thing that happens commonly with me is I could have tears, but I yawn. That yawning is that vagus nerve, right? So there's a release there. So embrace whatever you feel during the practice. If you feel nothing, that's okay. Lastly, if you decide to, I highly recommend you do the practice in silence, but if you decide to, just wanting to have some kind of sound in the background, you can get something set up on your end. So you can just pause the video. You could add in nature sounds or some sound bowls, singing bowls, or even just like some healing vibration music. So you can do that, but I would highly suggest at one point trying a restorative practice in silence. I think it's just the point. It's letting go of everything, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and get into a seated position. Any position is fine, seated. Honestly, you could be laying down too. So go ahead and get in a comfortable position. And once you're there, you might want to soften your gaze or close your eyes. And we'll just begin by noticing our body touching the floor. Maybe taking your hands, palms down on your thighs or your body, depending on your position. Palms down is very grounding. And begin just by noticing where your body's touching the floor and noticing that the floor is such a wonderful support for you. You don't have to worry about the floor falling away. You feel safe here. Noticing your hands touching your body, maybe the warmth of your hands. Maybe noticing any sounds in the room or in the distance. And then taking your attention to your nostrils and to your breath. And as you breathe in, notice how cool the air is as it comes in through your nostrils, down your windpipe, into your lungs. And every exhale, the air is now changed. It's warmer, more moisture. And you can feel that heat as it comes out your nostrils. So continuing to watch your breath, Maybe noticing that on an inhale, your belly and your chest expands. And on the exhale, your belly and chest move back in. And we'll now just take a very long, slow, deep breath in. And pause at the top of that breath. And then take another little inhale. And then let the breath out ever so gently. And we'll do that same thing again. Taking a long, slow, deep breath in. Pausing at the top of the breath. And then breathing in again just a bit more. And letting that breath go ever so slowly and gently. And when you're ready, you can flicker your eyes open. And we'll come into our first restorative pose. For that pose, I'm going to be using a bolster, and I'm going to be putting it basically under my tailbone as we come into this supported bridge. So getting to a spot where you can stretch yourself out. So if you're on your mat, be this way. And then you're going to get that bolster just behind you, and we're just going to scoot onto it. I think I'm actually going to walk mine forward. And it'll take a little bit of working around, of, moving it about to find the right place for you. Now from here, you could leave your legs bent, but what we're looking to do is stretch the legs out in front of you. Arms can be wherever feels comfortable. They could be on your body, cactus, out to the side. And again, just kind of noticing what is it you need to do in this first minute or so where you can get yourself just a little bit more comfortable. Do you need a blanket somewhere? Just adjusting the bolster. And then once you're comfortable in the pose, I'm going to come to your breath. Make sure you feel supported. Just relaxing. Allowing your attention to move inwards. Knowing that your body is always working to heal and to maintain your health. And knowing that information, we can offer every cell in our body so much gratitude and appreciation. So as you breathe in this pose, breathe into these areas that feel like they need to soften. And on that breath, carry this gratitude and appreciation. Allowing your exhales to be a little bit longer than your inhales. And allowing your body to be so heavy. If you lose track of your breath, Just allow yourself the grace to come back. It's okay. Just breathe. And you can slowly begin to deepen your breath. Maybe flutter your eyes open. And just bending your knees and bring the soles of your feet to the floor to start if you had your legs straight. And lifting your bottom, we'll just slide the bolster out and maybe just bring your knees to your chest for a moment, loosely, not tightly. And then just rolling to your side, we'll push ourselves back up into a seated position. For our next pose, we're going to use our 2 blocks. And we're just going to make a little table for the bolster. And then right in front of the bolster, we're going to take our folded blanket. So our bottom will go on the blanket. Our legs are going to go up on the pillow as we come into a reclined butterfly. You may want to have your rolled up towels close by in case you need to prop up your legs. So everybody's a little different. So just bringing your bottom onto the blanket and laying back. And from there, bringing the soles of your feet together. So we're resting our thighs and the outer blades of our feet on the bolster. Now, if your legs are up higher, or even if they can come low but you're having sensation, you can bring in the rolled up blanket. So just propping it in a way that's supporting your legs so that you're not feeling sensation. And again, you can have your arms wherever they feel comfortable. This is your time to make any adjustments to get a little bit more comfortable. And then again, just putting your arms wherever it feels comfortable. And once you're in that comfortable position, just coming back to your breath. Feeling that cool air moving past your nostrils. Deepening your breath, but allowing every exhale to be just a beat longer. Allowing your body to surrender to the floor. There's nothing to hold up here. Find the comfort of this pose. Feel how safe you are. And allow your breath to guide you into stillness. Just breathe. And when you're ready, you can start deepening your breath. Feeling your torso expand with every inhale, and your chest lower and your belly lower with every exhale. And when you're ready, if you were using the rolled up blankets, I'll just set those to the side, and you can just bring your knees to one side and just roll off. And when you're ready, pushing up to come back into a seat. I'm going to set the blanket aside. You may want that in the next pose, but we won't need the blocks this time. This time we're going to take our bolster and put it long ways in front of us. Now you may want the blanket there as a pillow. We're going to be coming into a supported frog or a supported tadpole depending on where you're at. So once you're ready, we're just going to bring our body right onto the bolster. Now you can start with your feet touching. If that's too much, then what you want to do is come more like a child's wide-legged child pose, and then just allow your body to come down. Now, if you're still feeling like that's too low, you could add props here. You could put the blocks underneath to bring your bolster a little bit higher, mainly in that torso area. So just trying to create a scenario where you're not feeling sensation in those inner thighs. And then if you want, you could use maybe the other block in the blanket to extend your bolster a little bit, just to support your head. So using this first minute just to get comfortable. And once you find comfort, whichever cheek you put down, we'll end up flipping that to the other side about halfway through. So allow your body to surrender to the floor, to the bolster. There's nothing to hold up. There should be no pain. There should be no sensation. We are allowing our body to open in this position. And using our breath to tell our body it's safe. So coming back to your breath, taking those long, slow, deep inhales, and those even longer exhales. Allow your body to know it's safe here. Just breathe. Without opening your eyes, just turn your head for the other cheek to come on to the bolster or the blanket. Coming back to your breath. Allowing your body to soften again. Let go. Surrender to the floor, to the bolster. Just breathe. you can go ahead and start to deepen your breath. Be noticing with the deeper breath how your belly and chest push against the bolster. And when you're ready, maybe bringing your feet closer together and pushing into your hands a bit as you walk your knees in. And we'll remove the blanket, though you may want it. We're going to remove one block, but keep the block at the front. And we're going to turn our bolster for a supported sphinx. So if you want to put a blanket underneath your hips, if you have sensitive hip bones, you could do that. Otherwise, you can just let your hips be on the floor. And we're just going to take our bolster. So once you get down on your belly, I like to tip my bolster up, kind of tuck it into my armpits a bit, so that your body's really supported here. And I'm actually going to walk myself forward a little bit so my feet are on the carpet. So tucking your bolster into your armpit, and you can just have your arms out, head up. But I find that I relax a lot more if I just allow my head to rest on a block. So I just tilt the block forward a little bit and allow my head to come down. And once you're there, using these first half to full minute to just find a little bit more comfort. And allow the bolster to support your body and the floor to support your legs. And see if you can just let go. Coming back to your breath. See if you can let go just a little bit more. You can play with the distance between your feet as well. Just breathe. when you're ready, you can start deepening your breath. Maybe noticing your belly pushing into the floor, your chest into the bolster. We can lift our head off the block and we could set the block aside. And when you're ready, we're just going to take our hands behind the bolster and just get into an all fours just to get into our next pose. So like I said, it's going to be a very similar pose. So we're actually coming into crocodile as our shavasana. You can lay on top of your bolster or you can go directly onto the floor. You may want a blanket here. So coming into that similar position, and we're just going to cross our arms. And I'm going to cross my arms, so stacking your hands. I'm going to do this underneath the blanket, and then we'll rest our head down on our hands. But you could put a blanket right on top of your hands just to soften that a little bit. So this time forehead is directly down. And again, we'll be holding this for 10 minutes. So taking this first minute or so to adjust. If you want to put a blanket or a towel underneath your hips, you could do that. So you could unroll a towel and put that folded towel underneath your hips while you have the folded blanket on your hands. Again, playing with the distance between your feet. Just seeing what's comfortable. And you can always use the bolster to raise up your hips and your torso. Just making that a little bit less intense. And once you find your position, you're just going to breathe. Allow your body to just surrender to the floor. There's nothing to hold up. Just breathe. you can start deepening your breath. Again, noticing your belly and your ribs pushing against the floor. When you're ready, you can lift your head. Just get your elbows underneath you as you come up into a comfortable seat. And leaving your eyes softened or closed. Just continuing to stay in that place, being connected to your breath and your body. Feeling your sit bones on the floor. And just scanning your body for a moment to see how you might feel different now than you did when we started. And when you're ready, we'll just take a couple of deep breaths together. So we'll just leave our hands right on our thighs or our knees. And we'll take a very long, slow, deep breath in. Again, we'll pause. And take another small inhale. And let that breath go ever so gently. Do that one more time. Take a long, slow, deep breath in. Pause at the top. Take another small inhale. And gently let that breath go. Allowing your breath to come back to its normal cycle, its normal pattern. And we'll just bring our hands to heart center. Maybe bowing our head down to our own heart, thanking ourselves for showing up on the mat today. Allowing this softened, tender energy that we've created to help lead the way for the rest of the day. I thank you for showing up today and joining me on the mat, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.